What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video your girl is here to bring you another video in my Swagmas series. Today's video is definitely going to be a fun one. It is the first declutter that you guys will be seeing, although it is the last declutter that I've actually filmed. And basically it's going to be decluttering all of my single eyeshadows. I have quite a lot, so it's going to be sped up a lot, and I'm just going to show you the process of how I choose them. Sometimes it is based on the shininess of the shadows, sometimes it's based on the fact that I literally have the same thing in the same palette. I'll also show you guys how I rehouse them at the end, all of that jazz. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty guys, so for today I actually am going to go ahead and go through all of my single eyeshadows. It has been quite a while since I've actually gone through them, so it is going to take a very long time. I'm going to be speeding through a lot of this whole section. Mainly what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each individual palette, and pretty much if the eyeshadow is damaged to any extent, I'm pretty much going to get rid of it. In addition, if the eyeshadow has like a pan, like if I took it out of a palette, let me find one really quickly. I think there's some in this one. So if I took it like out of a palette like this and I created it to make it a single eyeshadow, unless it's like exceptional, it's getting rid of. I just have a lot of single eyeshadows. I really don't use them enough to really keep all of the ones that I have, and so yeah, I need to get rid of some things. So I'm gonna go through and do a full sweep of that, and then after that I want to look at all of the shadows that I still have and actually look to see what I have dupe wise and what I actually need to keep. If any of my friends want those dupes, they can have them, but I just don't really utilize my single shadows as much as I used to in the past. I truly do focus in on my palettes, and no reason to keep things that I don't use. If you're wondering what's on my nails this whole video, it is from KB Shimmer and it is in Hidden Potential. So that's what you'll see on my nails. Apparently I need to change my battery, so I'm gonna do that, and then we're really gonna dive into my singles. Like I said, I'm gonna speed through this whole thing. It's just I have way too many single eyeshadows to really do it in slow-mo motion, and then at the very end I will come in and talk to you guys about kind of why I got rid of all the shadows that I did. And I am going to start by putting them all in this particular Z palette just to kind of house them all, and then if I have extras I'll find another Z palette. So yeah, let's just get into it. these are all of the single shadows that I am getting rid of right now. These are all just subpar in one way or another. I know for me, if I'm gonna go into a single shadow specifically for the shimmer, I want something sparkly, metallic, extraordinary, just exceptional. And these just aren't exceptional. They were good. I was happy to get them in the moment for the 2 seconds that I used most of these. I really did enjoy them, but I don't need them. So all of these are going. I'm just gonna throw them away because I've just kind of stockpiled them on top of each other, and I doubt anybody would want them. In doing all of that decluttering and just rearranging in general, I was able to empty out. Oh, and I'm getting rid of everything in this palette as well. These are all depotted KVD vegan shadows, and as you can see, a lot of them are significantly damaged, and they're not spectacular. I don't actually know why I depotted these, but I did. So we're just gonna get rid of all of the shadows. I am gonna keep the magnetic palette though. But anyways, so I will be ending up with 4 empty magnetic palettes. I am really happy with that. I definitely think that I could go through this collection again and curate it even more, but I think for tonight, this is okay. This is okay. Then we have this palette right here. This is a Coastal Scents magnetic palette. These are actually all highlighters. I don't actually know why they were in my eyeshadow drawer, but these are all highlighters. So I am actually going to move these to my highlighter drawer, and we will see how much I use of them as highlighters and then kind of differentiate where to go from there. I know these Vanessa Vanities I really did enjoy as actual highlighters, so yeah, I'm gonna be moving this to a different area, and I guess adding into the overall total of face palettes that I'm bringing into 2022, but I'm okay with this. I already have the product obviously, and I also just want to see if I'm gonna reach for this more in the new year. So yeah, then starting off with these smaller pre-made palettes, a lot of these, so this specifically one, this is the Triochrome dupe that I created. I am actually going to keep this as it is now for one video that I have in mind, and then I will actually be disbanding this particular palette because I literally have the Triochrome now, so I don't need this dupe. I have the real one, so yeah, I'm gonna definitely get rid of that. Eventually I'll disband this. I'm actually going to go ahead and disband as well. As you can see, quite a few of my shades are done, and I'm going to actually just get rid of this. This is like exploded, and I just don't need it. I don't need any of these shades that are exploding like this, and these two are really good metallics, so I will, is this a good metallic? Because child, you can get, yep, this one's getting chucked too. Okay, so I'm just going to keep these mattes, and you know what? we're really getting ruthless at this point. I don't need these mattes. As you guys will see in a minute, I have a lot of neutral toned mattes. I don't need them. I'm gonna get rid of them. So I'm just going to disband this palette with this dark cocoa brown and this really pretty metallic gold shade. Really pretty, so I'll keep those two. Then I have this cool toned Dream palette. I really like this. I want to play with this a little bit more, so I will be keeping this palette as it is. And this is a warm toned neutral palette that I guess I created. I don't really even know truly why I created it. I'm sure I created it to kind of talk myself out of something. This is supposed to be a shimmer. It's not, so we're gonna go ahead and get rid of that. Let us swatch these two really quickly. Those aren't bad. Okay, so I will just disband this whole palette as it is. So once again, I'm going to be keeping just one, and I will have 3 miniature palettes empty to do whatever I wish with in a little while. Then we have quite a bit of these mid-toned palettes. I created this to dupe out a ColourPop palette. I enjoyed the duping of it. I enjoyed, you know, the different textures and everything, but I don't need this palette. I'm not really super in love with the idea of picking up the ColourPop palette anymore, so I am just going to go ahead and disband this one as well. This is, I don't even know what was happening with this palette originally, but this is actually a black, obviously, but this is a depotted black. I'm gonna throw this one away, and and we'll keep the other three. So I will disband this little baby in a second. This is another pre-made cool tone palette. As you can see, this is another really textured shade here. Some really pretty shades. I want to play with this palette, and once again, another black that is actually a black. I really did like this. This is from Sugar Pill, so I will keep this one. This is another pre-made palette. I think I was trying to dupe out a palette that I was interested in. For now, I'll keep it this way. I don't want to overflood all of the palettes that I have already kind of minimized and grouped together with all of these kind of deconstructed palettes. So I will go ahead and keep this one for now and maybe get some more use out of it. Then we have these. These are my square pans. In these square pans, I have a lot of mattes from Inglot and some lot of like cheaper mattes from some brand. I think this happens to be from Inglot as well. This is not, it's not good enough for me to reach for it, so I'm gonna go ahead and chuck this as well. But the mattes from Inglot are really pretty. I do like, I think, everything else in this palette, so I am going to keep it. I did just recently get a Lethal Cosmetics palette, and I like the actual physical palette, so I think I might actually eventually get another palette and actually get rid of this one. I just don't like this Makeup Forever palette. It's too complicated to get into, so eventually I actually might, or you know what, I'm actually going to get rid of the physical palette now and change the location of these eyeshadows to another palette that I prefer opening and closing it of it. Then we get this beautiful cool tone color story. I really like this color story, and I do want to play with it more, so I am going to go ahead and keep this as it is. These are just some of my super sparkly shimmery metallics. I enjoy all of these, so I am going to keep these, and likewise with this palette as well. Super sparkly shimmery shadows. There are some duochromes, multichromes all throughout these two palettes, and I will be keeping them both. There is one more palette that I have that with. I believe it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. So I definitely have a lot of duochrome, multichromes in here, and these are my multichromes from Nude. I did just recently pick up a huge order. Had no business doing it, but I did, so I will probably be filling out this and like reorganizing this area as well to make room for all of my Nude Cosmetics single shadows to go into the same place. Either way, I like having all of my like super special shades together grouped like this, so I will be keeping all of these in their packaging as they are. Then we have my huge ginormous palettes. I was hoping that I would kind of get rid of enough of these that I would be able to actually use one of these bigger palettes for my multichromes and kind of shifty sparkly shadows, but I didn't. I will aim to kind of narrow this down even further, probably off camera. Specifically like these two shades, I think they are super similar, and maybe some other metallics that I didn't necessarily swatch, like maybe this is like not necessary at all for me, so this is something that I could definitely get rid of, etc, etc. So I will aim to kind of narrow these down to make room for some more shadows in my life, but I do really enjoy all of these, I believe, and I enjoyed kind of going through. I now have more space for some blues even though I don't need them. And then I can create pretty much my perfect grungy green with this one as well. So really happy with what I have nonetheless. Okay, last stack really quickly just to run through. These are just some neutrals with these blues that I just kind of tagged along. No real rhyme or reason why I added these. I just wanted to shove them in a palette, to be quite honest. I'm starting to get just a little bit tired, but I do have quite a few golds up here on this top row, so I do aim to kind of really curate that a lot better, because I just don't need that many. I do have my beloved yellow palette. I really do love yellows, you guys know that, and so I curated and collected quite a few. This is my sugar pill butter cupcake, I'm pretty sure. Yep, that's why there's like a little bit of white wettening, and honestly this isn't the best, but I did enjoy it for the moment, and for right now we'll just keep her. Then we have mainly pinks with a splash of red at the bottom. Really do enjoy this palette. I went through a phase where I felt like I was missing a lot of pinks in my collection, so I bought a whole bunch of pinky eyeshadows. Really excited, and this would be the perfect Z palette to pull out during Valentine's Day month if you celebrate the holiday. I do not. Okay, then we got some more neutral shimmery shades. Once again, I really don't need this many neutral shimmery shades, so I really need to curate that. Then we have oranges and a splash of reds at the bottom. Just I needed to finalize the rest of the housing area, if you will, for my reds, and I just wanted to curate my stuff a little bit more, so that's that. Then we have some beautiful cool toned neutrals. You definitely have some purples in there, but you also have some browns, so really excited for this palette. Then you got some more neutrals. Once again, I don't need this many neutral single shadows. I really don't wear neutrals all that often to have this many neutral shadows, so I really need to bring these down a notch. And then I have a whole double-sided palette of neutral matte shadows that, once again, I don't need. They all look the absolute same. But overall, this is my collection right now going into 2022. In 2022, I really want to focus in on shopping my singles a lot more, even when it comes to my curated palettes, just to really hone in on the specific shades that I don't need. I want to just throw them out. I don't need to sell them. I don't need to give them to friends. I just want to get rid of them so that I have a smaller collection that more so shows what I am interested in now. And in the future, if I'm interested in single shadows, I'll still have a decent base that I can work with and play with. So that's kind of where my mindset is now. I am happy that I went through and kind of just looked at what I have so that I can just see the abundance that I have. And maybe what I'll do is kind of do a lot more duping videos where I try and dupe the products that I pick up with what I have. And if I decide I like the product that I picked up more, then I will keep that. If I decide I like my single shadows more, then I will keep that kind of situation. Just like I said, just to really hone in on what I need and what I don't need, in the idea that I am hopefully moving in 2022. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and that's about all I got for you guys today. I will look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, and with that said, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.